Welcome to Heaven on Earth, a sacred portal to visualizing, meditating, and co-creating our highest joys that usher in the golden age of Aquarius. I'm your host, Athena Starseed. Hi, happy Saturday. This is Heaven on Earth, and I am so excited to have my master spiritual teacher, George A. Boyd, here again on the Heaven on Earth show. So before we get started, I want to do my opening invocation. So if everybody can take a nice deep breath, inhale and exhale. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light return to earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May the Christ consciousness return to earth. In the center where the will of God is known, let the center guide the little wills of men, the center which the masters know and serve, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. May the plan of love, light, and power restore heaven on earth. Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, Father Sky, and Mother Earth, from the point of light that connects us all, please be here in the sacred circle of light. Om, 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 and amen. Welcome to Heaven on Earth, George.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
So today I kind of want to talk about our life purpose, because we're creating heaven on earth and each individual soul incarnates for a specific reason. And my question to you is, why does it normally take half a person's life to have a midlife breakdown to find out what their purpose is?
Well, I'm reminded something my stepfather told me. He said, we're not here for the halibut. We're all here for a porpoise. So let's talk about purpose in three ways.
Okay.
The first way we can talk about purpose is the whispering of your soul to your life.
Yes.
You get to a point in your life where you say, why the heck am I here? None of this makes any sense to me. Why am I here? Please somebody tell me. And all of a sudden a little voice comes in your ear and says, hi, I'm your higher self. I'm your soul. There's an atom of God within me, so you better listen to me. And so that's the first way we typically discover purpose, is we connect with the purpose in our life in the present time. Now, when we take the larger viewpoint, when we go up to what we call the crown of purpose, we see that the soul, over its aeonic journey, is here to develop certain abilities. So most people who have a crown of purpose are developing more than one gift. So for example, you might develop certain gifts in science or art or philosophy. You might have certain psychic gifts. You might have certain ministerial gifts. You may apply your abilities in many arenas of life as your soul develops these abilities. So every person starts with not having any skills in an area. Think about when you first needed to learn how to ride a bike.
Yeah.
Okay, you did not know how to ride a bike, but little by little you got to the point where, okay, I can at least balance on this thing, and then eventually it became second nature. It became like habit for you, and you say, okay, this is easy. And then you started impressing folks, right? You said, I can do a wheelie, and boy, I can raise the bar, and I can spin the wheels around, and I can impress people like crazy. And then eventually, as you continue to do that, you develop true insights. So you might become a master mic builder. You might become a master racer, where it becomes an expression of your soul. So all of us, over a period of time, for each of these gifts that are encoded in our soul purpose, over a period of time, over a period of lifetimes, we develop these gifts. So maybe in one lifetime you are working on art, and then in another lifetime you're working on being able to use healing abilities. And so over a period of lifetimes, you eventually begin to bring all of these aspects of the soul into expression. And then your soul is able to fully incarnate and carry out its mission in life. Now, the third aspect of purpose is what we call intrinsic purpose. And this is the pattern of spiritual destiny that is behind every soul. So every soul has a track, and on that track are written the things that you're supposed to be doing in this eternal journey. So, for example, you might have written in your soul destiny the form of the saint. And if you have the form of the saint, it means that you can send the Holy Spirit to other people.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. How would you know that?
Well, you reach that state, you evolve to that state, you embody that form, and then God empowers you to grant the Holy Spirit.
Now, can you give us some examples of beings that have that gift?
Well, most beings who are, I want to say, typically beings who follow the path of, say, monastic Catholicism, develop this gift to a high degree. So in other words, when they complete their spiritual journey to become a saint, so they move to the point where they're at one with this form of the saint, then many of them have the ability to grant the Holy Spirit. And other individuals may have additional powers that are granted at that level. So, for example, we have St. Francis, who also had the ability to show in his body what are called the stigmata,
right,
the wounds of Christ. Other people exemplify a holy virtue to the highest degree. Other people may gain the power to guide other people as a saint. So as the soul makes its journey, at first the soul is in touch with what we call the physical universe, and then it gets in touch with what we call the great mind. And then it moves into a more spiritual platform, the realm of the divine imagination, that we call the psychic realm. And then it moves into the wisdom plane. And in the wisdom plane, you begin to say, it's sort of like someone wakes up the next morning after you've been at a party and you've been roaring drunk, and you notice everything is put all over the place. The house is a complete mess. There's cigarette butts everywhere. And you said, what was I thinking? And so in the wisdom plane, you got to clean things up. Okay. Now, once you go beyond that stage, you move into what we call the first initiation. Now, the first initiation is a stage when you start getting in touch with the great ideas, the great forms that make up the major Western forms of spiritual expression. So, for example, there are archetypes that correspond to the classical Jewish faith. There are archetypes that correspond to democracy, to the Catholic faith, to the Essene and angelic healers, to social justice Christianity, to evangelical Christianity, and also the form of Judaism called Kabbalah. So you begin to gain awareness of these archetypes. And then the next level is you go on a mystic journey. You walk through the gates of death. You behold the archetypes of the worlds of hell, where people create suffering for themselves, the world of purgatory, where you purify your nature, the world of heaven, where you see the beauty of everything that is here. If you could see the beauty of heaven, you would weep, because it is so beautiful. And I mean, that beauty is all around us. You see it. You get little glimpses of it when you go out on a spring day in the wilderness, and you just see the beauty of everything. That's the way the world really is. That's heaven. And then when you ascend beyond that, you move to the stage of the saint. And the saint is able to grant the Holy Spirit to other people.
So did Jesus had that gift?
Oh, yeah. Well, Jesus had not only that gift, but he went way, way, way beyond that. So that's just the first stage. So that's what we call the mesoteric.
Okay. All right. So my question really is, though, like when people don't have any of this information, and they are born into a family, and they're taught in school that they need to get a job, and they have to make money, and they should get married and have children, and they actually lose their connection to their purpose and why they're here. And then what happens is, I work at the mystic journey. So on their mystic journey, usually they'll either have a disease, a near death, a job loss, or a catastrophe, and then it refocuses them, and or a breakup. Then they're like, what have I done with my life? Half of my life is over, and I didn't work on any of the things that you're just talking about, unless they were a monk and they went in early. A lot of times, I find humanity wake up a little late.
Yes. Well, there's what we call the neophyte experience.
Okay.
And most people kind of remain hypnotized in the waking state of consciousness, and they just see what's in the environment.
Right.
Oh, okay, fire hydrant. Okay, cool.
Mercedes-Benz, Rolex. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so they don't wake up. But what happens is they typically have an experience that focuses them at a deeper level of their mind, where they got in touch with their spiritual feelings. So until they have that experience, they're going to basically be sleepwalking. And again, sometimes it does take that experience of pain or loss to make them question and begin the process of beginning to reconnect with the soul. Now we call this reconnection with the soul, we call it the aspirant process. So at that point you start to seek, you start to look for answers, you start to go to different lectures, read different books, you start to do different types of meditation.
Is every person on the planet, do they have a purpose to wake up, or do some people they can just be asleep their whole life and then do it again?
There are many people who sleep through not only this life but through multiple lives.
Okay, and then do we get penalized for that? I mean, do we spend more time in purgatory in between lives, or is there a counselor over there, the other side, that says, "Hey, you came here for a reason, and again you forgot"? Like what happens when you're in between, so that you can get some type of anchoring? Because we fall from this through this veil of illusion, and I feel like my memory. I mean, when I was a child, I was pretty awake, but it started to get clouded and clouded and clouded until I was completely anesthetized and went back to sleep.
Well, on the other side, from the experiences that I've been able to have through meditation, typically what happens is that there's a period of life review.
Oh, that's great. I want to hear that.
Where you go through your life and you try to gain whatever gems of wisdom in there. It's sort of like if you've ever gone and taken one of those strainers and tried to strain out sand to get little shells or whatever. It's like that. You strain out the little gems that you gain.
Okay, well, we're going to be right back talking to George A. Boyd, who is basically ushering in this Mudrashram, which are different spiritual practices for all kinds of different faiths to go in and up, to re-plug in, to contact their life purpose. So this is a show called Heaven on Earth. I'm Athena Starseed. We're going to be right back after these commercial messages, and we're going to tune back into straining out the things that don't work and trying to get to the purpose of why we're really here and why we did incarnate. All right, stay tuned. Blessings and light.
Hey Lorraine, do you realize that your mother, my mother-in-law, Chef Maria, has been serving Las Vegas since 1949?
Yes, I do, Dennis. That's when she first met Howard Hughes, who fell in love with her cooking.
And in 1955, she opened her first restaurant on Fremont Street.
Yes, dear. And another great customer was Liberace.
Wow. Then in 1962, while Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack were causing global excitement on the Las Vegas Strip, your family opened their second restaurant.
And in 1970, 1972, Elvis Presley began electrifying Las Vegas audiences and eating in our restaurants.
You know, Lorraine, this is quite a town. There's only one Las Vegas.
And there's only one Bootlegger Italian Bistro.
Folks, when you're in Las Vegas, come visit us. We'll make you feel like you're part of our family.
The Bootlegger Italian Bistro, conveniently located at 7700 Las Vegas Boulevard, South Strip. Visit our website at www.bootleggerlasvegas.com.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares, first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
Hi, everybody. Michael Horn from CRNTalk.com. You know, we provide you with the best in talk radio. 8 channels of talk radio, from radio on the left, radio on the right, sports talk, business talk, religious talk, Spanish talk, you name it, we've got talk radio for you. All at CRNTalk.com. Well, now we'll bring you video as well as audio. That's right. Watch your favorite shows like The Robert Conrad Show, The Fred Dreyer Program, What's Cooking Today, What's Cooking on Wine, The Lounge, and so many other shows in video right at our website, CRNTalk.com. You can also watch us on Roku. Just search CRN Talk, and you can watch us on Roku on any TV anywhere in the world. Also on Facebook Live. Go to Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Facebook.com/CRN Digital Talk. Roku, search CRN Talk. Check us out on Tiki Live and at CRNTalk.com. Video for you talk fans, all from CRN Talk.
This is Athena Starseed, and this is a show called Heaven on Earth, and I have my spiritual teacher, George A. Boyd, who has the Mudrashram, and I have been studying some integral meditation with him. He has been in several different spiritual practices. He's had studied with 8 different spiritual masters in your lineage?
4 major traditions.
4 major traditions, okay. And you have just so many different tools that you teach online, and also you do soul readings. I myself have had a soul reading, and I have now become an intuitive reader, and I'm working at the Mystic Journey on Abbot Kinney in Venice, and it's amazing. But we were picking up right after, we're talking about what happens to you between lives. Like if you, the last 400 lives, forgot who you were and you went in just for the money, the sex, the marriage, the girl, the guy, whatever, the security, and then you get, your life review, and they go, hey, you forgot again. And like, who's at the life review? Is it your guardian angel? Is there a council?
Well, typically, what I see when I go up and meditate on the inner planes, and I visit people in their conscious entity form at that level, typically it's their own higher self or soul that is acting as their teacher.
Oh.
Now, what we typically see for people who are somewhat more developed is that they develop like a little cottage, a little place where all of their particular gifts are represented. So they can spend some time working on each area. So they discover, oh, I learned this in life. Well, what about this? What about that? So they learn to innovate. So by the time they come back in, they're already ahead of where they were. So they bring in new things. They gain new insights. Now, what we see is that typically after that period is done, and there's a deep heart integration of all the experiences of life, both painful and joyful. And when that is done and a person has finished their life review and their preparation for the next life, then they reincarnate. So the soul creates a life force connection with a embryo, and then later, at a certain point, begins to incarnate its conscious principles, what we call the physical seed atom, the emotional seed atom, the mental seed atom, the egoic seed atom, which gives you the sense of embodiment,
Right.
okay, which gives you the sense of relatedness to other people, the sense of reality testing, and being able to analyze exactly what's going on. And then the egoic seed atom gives you the sense that I am this character who is living in this life.
But when you're there and you're getting your life review, what does that feel like? Are you judging yourself? Are you making corrections and adjustments so that you're like, okay, next lifetime I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to do this. I mean, are you conscious of the personalities that you were, or is it just one collective experience that just gets downloaded into said form?
Well, as far as I can tell from what I've observed, is that it is basically going through the life, going back in time and looking at each decision that you made. Everything
since when you were a tiny little baby all the way to the end of your life?
You go through all that. Because you basically have to finish your connection with that life. So when you're done, when you've gotten all the juice out of it that you can get out of that life, then you said, okay, I'm done with that, I can let go of this. And then you're ready to, gather your talents and your abilities, develop them to a certain extent more. And
then you decide, okay, I'm going to come back in. And then do you get to pick who you are? I want to be an Asian girl and, China. And do you choose that, or does some superior choose that for you? Christ or God or?
Okay, we have, I want to say, a whole spectrum of situations. Many people basically sleep when they die, and they are simply unconscious. So they don't remember anything that's happened. This is happening in the background, but they're not aware of it, and then they just wake up and say, oh, here I am.
And
now I am...
A baby?
A baby.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Other people have kind of a twilight experience.
Speaking of that twilight, we're at a commercial break again. But when we get back, I want to talk about, if you do a lot of meditation this life, can you bring in that twilight energy so that when you're born consciously? Like, let's say the Dalai Lama, like he knows what bowl to choose, and he knows, that he has more of a spiritual draw this lifetime, so that he gets reborn in Tibet. Anyway, well, I guess we'll talk about that because it's really fascinating. I have a lot of people that come in with so many passionate questions about who am I? Why am I here? What's the purpose of this life? And although it's challenging, it's very, very exciting. All right, this is Athena Starseed. This is George A. Boyd with the Mudrashram. We're on Heaven on Earth, and we'll be right back. CRN Talk Radio. If you like the show, stay tuned.
Were you scammed into signing a timeshare contract? And did you miss the part that said you have to pay for your great idea? Not only for the rest of your life, but when you're not here anymore, you get to pass this turkey onto your family for them to pay for the rest of their lives. Thanks, Dad. Don't burden your family down the road, and don't be stuck with expensive timeshare payments forever. Get out of your bad idea timeshare contract guaranteed, or pay nothing. Call Resort Release today and learn for free how their timeshare exit team can help you legally exit your timeshare contract. They've helped thousands of people, and they're A+ rated with a BBB. So if you feel scammed, get mad and get out of your expensive timeshare contract right now, guaranteed. Call NOW.
800-716-9903. 800-716-9903. 800-716-9903. That's 800-716-9903.
This is the Entertainment Answer. What are Hugh Jackman's favorite moments in the new animated film Missing Link?
I think my favorite moments in the movie are the interactions between my character and Mr. Link. I think that odd couple relationship is funny. I love Zach's performance, and I just love seeing these two characters gradually start to get to know each other and understand each other and develop a friendship, and it's funny.
Missing Link, rated PG in theaters April 12th. For this Entertainment Answer, I'm Matt Mungle.
Hi, everyone. This is Fred Dreyer telling you about my favorite Italian restaurant. It's Angelo's and Vinci's in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's has the best pasta, the best seafood, the best salad, spaghetti, lasagna, and the most incredible pizza. And the chicken is delicious. Marsala, piccata, cacciatore, parmigiana, and more. For desserts, try our spumoni or our tiramisu, my favorite, flown in fresh from Italy. And the cannolis and the zeppolis are out of this world. Open for lunch and dinner. And don't miss the Sunday champagne brunch. Just $23.95. Are you kidding me? It's all up the road from Disneyland at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Angelo's and Vinci's, like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. Call 714-879-4022 or visit us online at angeloandvinci's.com.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health.
To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code FLASH.
Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Rain. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me.
Hi, this is Athena Starseed, and this is Heaven on Earth, and I have my spiritual teacher, George A. Boyd, from the Mudrashram.com. So if you're interested in getting a soul reading or doing some advanced meditation training, he's got all kinds of different programs that he teaches online, and he also does light sittings locally in Venice a couple times a month. So, George, we were talking a little bit about your life review, and we were talking about what happens when you're on the other side, and do you come back in with some of that memory? And you said some people come in asleep, they don't know. Other people are kind of in the twilight. So why don't you talk about that a little bit, and then I want to show a clip, and I want you to comment.
Yeah, well, the twilight is like, it's kind of a dream-like experience on the other side. And then you have people who are what we call semi-conscious, which means that they are aware of continuities of time in which they're aware that, okay, I'm in another environment, I'm in this little cottage, there are blue clouds and you know, sweet music in the background. They're in a dimensional world and they're partially aware of it. And then you have the fourth group, who are individuals who are truly conscious on the other side. And these are the ones who can make choices. So they are shown by what the beings we call the Lords of Karma, several different scenarios. And then you typically will choose one. I had a recent experience where I went back and remembered that. And I was given a choice between 6 lives, and I kind of took the life that was kind of the synthesis of all of them. One would emphasize one thing, and one would emphasize another thing, and I kind of picked the life that had elements of all of them to give me the richest experience.
That's wonderful. Okay, so I want to show this incredible clip. It's called The Egg, and it's by Andy. It's an Andy Weir's viral short. It's an adaptation of this incredible little scene, and then I want you to comment on it and see how accurate this is based on your own personal experience. Okay, so do we have the clip? Okay, if we can, it's okay. All right, so basically what happens is this young guy, he wakes up on this mountain and he finds out that he has just died and he got hit by this ice cream truck. And then there's this gentleman who just starts bicycling in, and he's not really sure who the gentleman is. And then when the scene starts unfolding, he realizes he's talking to God. And he and God have this incredible conversation. Do you have it? Oh, no, it's not going to work without the video. No. So he's having this incredible conversation with God, and God basically said, okay, did you have a good time? What did you do down there? And he's just like, I hardly lived. And he said, what about all of these other people? And God says, that was you. He goes, all of those people were me? And he goes, yeah, that was you. And he goes, Hitler was me? And he goes, yeah, and all the people that he killed. He said, Gandhi was me? Yes, and all the people that he helped. And this kid's like mind is blown and he can't like figure it out. And he's just like, what is the purpose of life? And so he's like walking through this plane that he's in, and he says, is this heaven? And he goes, no, this is a mental construct of your version of where you think you are, but a lot of this stuff you're not going to understand. So does God directly meet us when we die?
Well, typically the form of God that meets you is the God that is within your own soul. There's an atom of the divine within everybody. So what we call the God immanent, the God within man or woman, that is the form of God that you typically meet. And when you do meditation, that's the form of God you typically meet. There is also what we call the God transcendent, which is the universal form of God.
Okay.
And so you encounter this universal form of God at different stages on the path, and you realize this is the form of God that is working with everybody in the world. Every life, every soul is within that universal consciousness of God. And we encounter this at different stages on our spiritual journey. So you come to one plateau and you find God at a certain level. You go beyond that horizon, you find there's even a greater idea of God, this God universal. So you are typically going to encounter the God within you. And to a certain extent, if you've been doing meditation, your spiritual master might come to you on the other side. If you've been invoking angels, sometimes the angels will appear. Sometimes people will see Jesus coming to comfort them and bless them. So it really depends on what you have been invoking, who have you been calling upon during your life.
Now, when people that have had near-death experiences, like little children that die and they see themselves over their body, and then they have this experience where a loved one or an angel comes and they tell them they have to come back. Does everybody have a guardian angel, or are we accompanied by, non-physical beings that are with us our whole life to take care of us?
I would say probably most people experience that there is an angel who's assigned to you to assist you. It's what we often call the guardian angel. Now you also have the divine guardian angel that is your higher self, who is always working with you, and is always attempting to, answer your questions, give you comfort when you're freaking out. So those two entities are always with you. Now, once you begin working with a spiritual tradition, you may also have the master teachers of that tradition will also begin to work with you. So people begin to say, well, okay, I'm in meditation, and I was meditating in a mystic Christian tradition, and Jesus showed up.
Right.
Or I was meditating in a Buddhist tradition, and I saw my Lama, my spiritual teacher, show up.
Now, I have a question, because I was raised Catholic, and I was very, very, very close to Jesus. And when I hit my 30s, I had 6 yogis show up And I was a little confused because I was like, I didn't have a context on why these yogis were reviewing my behavior, and they gave me specific instructions and said, don't date this person, break up. And I was like, first of all, who are all you people, and how many people are watching what I'm doing? What is that about?
Well, sometimes what you find is that individuals have to develop themselves. Like, for example, you're not ready for college when you're in second grade.
Right.
Okay, you have to develop your personality to the point where you can receive certain information.
Right.
So when you reach that stage of inner maturity, at that point, then these beings who are associated with you will come to you. You're ready to meet them. There's a aphorism, when the disciple is ready, the master appears. You have to ready your personality, you have to ready your conscious entity within you to be ready to receive their guidance and their download. Now, typically when you start seeing yogis or masters of other traditions, you may have had a relationship with them in a past life.
Oh, okay. All right.
And that's the reason why they show up. Now, nominally, we are raised in whatever religion or lack of religion that we learn in our family. But this may not be the inherent religion, the inherent worldview or consciousness of your soul. So you might be raised in Catholicism, but inwardly you have a whole other spiritual perspective. So you might be in touch with, the angels and the extraterrestrials. But nominally, outwardly, you were raised a Catholic, and you learned all the rituals and you learned all the prayers. But that may not be where you really are on the path. So what you learn outwardly, that helps you. You learn moral values. You may learn to be a good person. You learn to treat others well, and that's good. There's nothing wrong with religion, provided it's not fanatical and crazy.
Is it true that we have to experience all different life forms? We go from a mineral to a plant to an animal to a human, and then experience all the different religions at some incarnation before we get to transcend the earth plane?
Well, when we talk about this divine atom within the soul, we can follow that divine atom even below human birth into the realms of the plants, realms of the animals, and we see that same divine spark in other individuals. And typically what we see, that after an individual comes to what we call a gateway species, and these are typically species that have contact with human beings. These include your cows and bulls, your primates, your cetaceans, these are like your whales and dolphins, horses, pigs, dogs, cats. Typically this is the last life that individuals experience in the animal form, and then they're typically born in the first level of the subtle realm, which is the first band of our human experience, and then they move on from there. So in the course of incarnations, and I have been reading past lives since 1983, and I have seen many, many different configurations of lives. And typically what you will see, people are exposed to different religious traditions. They are born in different cultures. They are born in different ethnic or racial groups. And they have a perspective from each of these. So you gain the understanding of, well, why is it that people believe this way? Why is it that people feel this way? And so you gain wisdom as a result. You gain wisdom, tolerance, and compassion.
Compassion. I was just going to say that to know that, let's say, like the Chinese came in and then they slaughter all these monks and they push them out of Tibet, and then the very next life they're Chinese. or maybe before that they were Buddhists. And so they're dancing in and out of these racial situations, or one life you're KKK and the next life you're Martin Luther King. Like, these paradigms are expanding, like you said, our experience and our compassion for everybody's situation, and then we're born with more of a sensitivity and more empathy?
Yes. Well, again, if you have lived a particular life, you have an intuitive understanding of what their experience is, whereas someone who hasn't had that life doesn't have a clue about what it's like. Now, you put your finger on something which is very typical, what we call the working of the law of karma. It's typically, if you do something really negative or really dumb in a life.
I'm sure I've done a lot of dumb things.
Okay? Very often the lords of karma will put you in a situation where you experience the other side of that.
Right.
So if you've been cruel to other people and you've imprisoned people in another life, you get to be in prison, you get to have people be cruel to you.
Now, I want to ask you something really quick, because I've had some clients that come in and they say, you know, I've had black magic put on me and spells, and I was, you know, making deals with the dark side, and I had to make amends for that. Like, is that true? Like, when people can put a spell on you, or you can get imprisoned by dark entities?
Okay, well, in the subtle realm, there's a particular band that we call the lower astral plane. Okay. And this is kind of like the place where all of the negativity of humanity dwells. And on that level, there is the capacity of people to be hypnotized, or I want to say coerced.
Okay.
But the challenge is for an individual to renounce that negativity and basically to move beyond that realm, in which case then you start to receive the whispering of the higher mind and showing you everything that's ahead of you on the path. And then when that stage is finished, you reunite with the overshadowing soul. This is when this little, what we call this seed atom, this soul spark reunites with the soul. So you reunite with your God essence within.
Prior to that, do you know how they have those little Bugs Bunny cartoons where there's like a little angel and a little devil on your shoulders? Is that happening, like where you have the good and the bad talking to you and you have to make that decision on a soul level?
Okay, well, this relates to the energy channels within us. In the East, they refer to the central channel as Sushumna, the one on the right side is Pingala, the one on the left is Ida. Now, the channel on the right comes down from your higher self.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
So that is actually guiding you. You're getting guidance from that level.
On the right.
And the one on the left taps into your unconscious mind. So these are all your drives, all the things you want. I want the Mercedes.
Right.
Okay? So both of them are operating at all times, and you learn discernment to say, okay, there's my, there's my little internal imps.
Right.
That are, wanting me to do something that probably isn't for my highest good.
That's it's driven by desire.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, this is incredible information, and I'm glad that I know now to the right. Maybe that's why they say the right hand of the Father. If you're listening to the right and you're thinking about the highest version that is in the good for all, that you can kind of stay on that golden brick road path into your higher self and your higher life purpose. We're going to go to a commercial break, and then we're going to wrap up the show. So we're going to really talk about how to get on purpose and how to actually serve more of your higher self than your lower nature. This is Athena Starseed, a show called Heaven on Earth. This is my spiritual teacher, George A. Boyd, and we'll be right back after these commercial messages. Blessings.
Welcome to your island home away from home at Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Relax and unwind on 11 acres of tropical gardens by the whale-shaped pool or in a beachfront cabana. Enjoy your favorite ocean activities, culture activities, and free nightly entertainment. A perfect setting for weddings, honeymoons, family vacations, or just a weekend getaway. Experience aloha at its best at Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel. Call 661-0011 or visit kbhmaui.com and let us welcome you and your ohana to ours.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1597. 800-932-1597. 800-932-1597. That's 800-932-1597.
Enjoy Tiki Live, the best cable alternative choice today, with hundreds of premium live TV programming, including ESPN, CNN, Fox News, Disney, AMC, Bravo, XF, OWN, and CRN Talk. Plus no contracts and low month-to-month service. Tiki Live, servicing North America, including the Caribbean. To get started, visit TikiLive.com to order hundreds of channels, including CRN Talk, at a fraction of what you're paying today. Visit TikiLive.com. That's TikiLive.com.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. It's time to leave the cocoon. No more rain and cold weather. Enjoy the deliciousness of Columbo's. It's not just the delightful and tender steaks, the to-die-for fish specialties, Colombo family Italian specialties, along with jazz every night and the world's greatest meatballs. It's the feeling you get at Columbo's. It's easy, friendly, not phony, and so far away from Beverly Hills prices, it makes for, oh yes, experience. It's easy, and don't we all need a large dose of easy and enjoy? Don't deny yourself and the family. It really is good times central. That's why you have got to get to Columbo's, because it really is that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Columbo's, mangia.
Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light.
Hi, this is Athena Starseed, and this is a show called Heaven on Earth, and we are back. I wanted to let you guys know that the Andy Weir, the egg, Andy Weir's viral short, is at the bottom of this clip. There's going to be a link, okay? So please, everybody watching this show, light a candle, take a nice deep breath, take 12 minutes where you're not interrupted, shut the door, let everybody know that you're busy. Watch this all the way through. It's going to be such a spiritual bump. Okay, we're right back here with my teacher, George A. Boyd, who's teaching integral meditation at the Mudrashram. And we were talking about the Pingala and the Ada, the left and the right channel, and how you can get in touch with your higher self so you can get on purpose. So what's your advice?
Well, basically, the first thing you want to do is you want to remember the nature of your higher self or your soul. So most of us are aware of the ego, which is embedded in your life, and then over that is your larger self, which has a lot more capacity. And then there's a thread that goes up into what we call your higher self. So as you remember that essence within you, then you are going to simply ask it to respond to your questions. You're going to ask it for guidance. So you're going to visualize that there is a connection between that wisdom that your soul has and you, where you experience yourself. And then you are going to simply ask it your questions and then listen for the responses. And at first you might get not a whole lot, but you need to persist. This is important that you have your answers. So you're going to continue to dialogue, continue to ask your higher self for guidance. And for some of you, you may find it's best that if you ask a question, you can get the answer by writing the response.
I was just going to say that, automatic writing.
So it depends. Some of you will get it auditorily For some of you, you get a series of images or forms that will come to you, and others of you will write it. However you tap into this, you can begin to ask and get answers to your questions. Your higher self knows. Your higher self has this capsule of wisdom around it, which is called the Buddhi or the illumined mind. And so when you ask a question, you're tapping into that. And the soul knows everything within its sphere of consciousness. So you have access to all that wisdom. It's like having access to the inner internet. Anything you want is available to you within your soul's consciousness, so he can answer the questions for you.
And it doesn't have, you don't have to necessarily be born with your psychic gifts open. Any soul on the planet can talk to their higher self.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so George, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I want you to come back. You're absolutely fascinating. I love training with you. I love doing the light sittings. If anybody out there is interested in getting a soul reading with George A. Boyd, the mudrashram.com, you can reach him through there and get a hold of him. He also, you meet in Venice on Sunday nights?
Yeah, Marina Del Rey. And they should email me if they're interested in coming.
Okay, and that's a light sitting. So this is Athena Starseed. This is a show called Heaven on Earth. And the more we tune in and we tap into our higher self and our awareness and we ask for that guidance, our soul will come online and help us to usher in this whole golden age. And there is heaven on earth, is each soul connecting with their purpose, their life, and their love. So thank you so much. If you enjoyed the show, please click like, please share it with your network, please share it with your friends, and remember that you are born with a purpose, and we need you out there doing what you love, because joy and bliss is the trail, the breadcrumbs right into the holy inner kingdom. Blessings and light. Thank you so much, George.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.